Fair Inc. YouTube page. We got a really exciting video here. This massive mama back here is our Pavilion. It is the largest tent that we have personally run into in most of the fairs around us. We've talked to tent makers and no one makes a tent of this size, so we are super proud of that fact. It's what, 40 by 60?
The dimensions, it's 30 by 50.
30 by 50.
And it holds a 40 by 60 footprint. This tent is so big, Panther Tents said that it couldn't possibly exist.
Yeah, and it is. I mean, we have had an adventure over the last nine years putting this guy together. We finally have figured out exactly how it goes, and that's what this is. And as an example, we've already got it laid out. Everything's where it needs to be, and it's hard to see, but in these spots, we've already got stakes down. Because you don't go middle out, you go out in. And that's what this video is going to be showing. It's good for our crew, and it's just good education for everyone else who may ever want to get the crazy idea of doing something similar with other large tents. Because here's the trade secret. They all set up the same. No one else really does it unless they want to do it harder than how we're going to do it today. So we hope you enjoy. We're going to start getting this guy put up for you.
You want me to walk them through what we did to get up to this point?
Yes.
Okay, so the first step is you got to lay out your tent and stretch the corners. And you'll notice, Tyson, as you can point at the orange thing right there, you step in, there's a stake in the corner spot there. And so you get your first corner set, you stake it, you stretch out the short end, you stake that corner, then you stretch it out lengthwise, and you stake those two. That establishes your corners and your corner footprint for the tent. Then you want to establish your corner stakes for your guy lines. The first poles that will go up are the corner poles for the tent. So the next thing we're going to do, we're actually going to have some of our crew over here. They're behind the camera and nobody's panning because nobody's behind the camera. Some of our crew over here are going to start putting in stakes throughout along the perimeter for our poles and our guy lines. Those are going to go in very specific places as you go. Smaller tents, you just put them all in. These bigger tents, you don't necessarily want to put them all in. That's a whole lot of work. You can put a bunch of them in afterwards. It's fine. So they're going to start putting in these other stakes. At the same time, we're going to put in the corner poles first. We're going to pull the stakes that are being used to stretch the tent. We're going to put the corner poles in, lift it up, stretch those first few guy lines. On this tent, it's big enough that you have to have 2 guy lines per corner. Some tents, you only have 1 and it comes out at an angle. This one, it's 2 guy lines per corner going out straight from either side. All right, we'll get to it. We have the 4 corners of the tent in and up. The tension of the tent is, the weight of the tent is being offset by the tension on the guy lines, which is keeping your poles in the upright position. We're going to continue with this around the outside perimeter of the tent until we have the walls up. We don't necessarily want all of the poles up, but we want enough of them up that it actually is sitting where it needs to sit. And then we will put in the center poles that support the middle of the tent. gonna notice some things as we're doing this. If you saw, I had to retie one of those guy lines. We actually had to make all of our own ropes for this because about 7 years ago, somebody noticed that we had toolboxes, big old toolboxes. They didn't know what was in them, and they stole the toolboxes. Well, what was in the toolboxes was all of our guy lines and stakes and everything else. So the guy lines and stakes that you're seeing are all handmade by people here who work at the fair. So.
Alrighty, so now we have every other pole up. So we have half of our structure going. At this point where we have the outer support, we're now going to run our center poles up and in. This is the part where if you have little pennants and stuff you want to put on the top of your flag, this is when you get that done, because once it's up, you're not going after it. Now that we have the center poles in, as you saw, outside, inside, now we tighten up everything we put together and then finish putting it up, and you have yourself a very large pavilion, complete with walls at your leisure.